Hello YouTube, this is Sparse Gaming, new channel coming up. I just wanted to introduce myself first before starting the profile. Basically, we're doing a lot of YouTube Dragon Ball Super card game content, and just want to start up. If you hear a noise from that's my dog, the one that inspired Sparse Gaming. So yeah, let's just start with the profile. Not waste too much time in introductions. So, first profile we're gonna do here. We're gonna do a lot more. My brother's participating in the top 16 and stage zeros tournaments on Sunday. So we're gonna do our deck profile for him anyways, if he doesn't top or not. So watch out for that. So yeah. So first with this, me and my brother we test heavily every deck we can get our hands on. So right now we're testing this one and it's working wonderful and it's pretty good. I'm actually surprised how much it's overperforming, how well and how consistent the deck is in what it wants to do. So let's just start with the leader. So this is the Reboot cell. Basically, active main, place an android card from your hand under him, you draw a card, and then you pop a 3 or less. Pretty good. Super good, not the greatest effect in the world, and it's also once per turn. You can't do it multiple times, so it'll be pretty good because obviously it leads to his awakening. He has an alternate awakening. If you have 3 cards under him, you can flip it over and do a hybrid awakening. So draw 1, untap 1 energy, and that's really good because you awaken. Usually when we're testing out, we awaken on turn 3, turn 2 or 3. You can also awaken on 4 if you're a little bit behind, but generally you will awaken on 2 or 3. And that's really awesome because that puts you ahead on his awakening skill. So yeah, and the thing is, once you start the game, you just cycle through your cards so quick. You put a card under him, or if you play one of the cantrips, then obviously if you play 17 or you look top 5 or the 18 draws your card. We'll get there in a second. But just starting out, you just cycle so much. In by turn 2, you will have 3 cards. Consistently, you will have 2 cards. If not, then obviously you can break. That's the part of the game. It's just the nature of the beast on card games. That's something you can't prevent. But anyways, so yeah. So let's go to his awaken. Cell return of the ultimate life form. Basically, he has an auto that you place an android, and the thing is, front side, it's any android. Doesn't matter color or doesn't matter the cost, and that's pretty good because all your 1Ks can go under him. If you can, and I have done it, that's something you really would like to do a lot. You put the Xeno Cell SCR, spoiler alert. You could put the Perfect Force Cell under him, so like once you swing, you put an android card, example Perfect Force Cell, Xeno Cell under him, draw 2 cards, and that's insane because you cycle through this deck so much. I think out of the 5 games that we played, I decked myself I think once, but that was my own fault. But the thing is, you can play the long game in the deck will get you there. It grinds so well. Obviously, you have to be careful and manage your resources appropriately. If not, that could be to your detriment, and that's what happened in one of those games that I decked myself out because I didn't appropriately manage my resources, and I was just grinding, and just couldn't get there where I wanted. So yeah, and that's the auto. And an active main is you pitch 2 cards under him, and you pop any card. Doesn't matter cost or color or whatever. Doesn't discriminate. The only thing, obviously, it doesn't ignore barrier, which is unfortunate, but barrier is not something that's very prominent in this format. Obviously, exceptions are Trunks Geta, the Trunks and Vegeta deck. But anyways, generally you won't be getting, or with black decks, there's not a lot of barrier in those decks. But anyways, you will pop a lot of the cards. Example, if they play Black Mass Saiyan, and what you can do is, I generally, when testing, we did that Black Mass Saiyan goes on the board, you do his active main, you pop it, and then and then you swing. And then obviously when you pitch 2 cards, you get 5k in critical. So you pop a card, you get critical, and you get 5k. Yes, it is negate bait and block bait. That is unfortunate because it's an active main. But sometimes you don't want to be an active battle card, like this effect being an active battle, because sometimes you just want to pop a card first and then swing. Or sometimes what I do is I swing first, put a android, draw 2 cards, and then do his active main. Because sometimes you just want to cycle and see what you have. Because if generally you will have cards under him, you will have the majority of the game at least 4 cards. And then once you pitch 2, you're going down to 2, and you will have cards all the time. There was never a game that I had nothing under him. At least I think the what I had the least amount is like 1 card, but generally you will have cards under him. Yes, it sucks if you do attack first and then do the active main, but there will be situation that will come up and you will understand why once you test the deck out. And it's just generally you will the critical is a bait, so you swing, put it under and attack, and then if you did active main, critical 5k, so 20k crit, it's obviously they will stop it, they will try to negate it, and that's the unfortunate part. But it's just so good in that you cycle for your deck even more on the front side, and then you just pitch 2 cards under and you won't lose them. And what I usually do is just Perfect Force Cell, like I mentioned before, and Xeno Cell go under, and then you just use Regeneration to play them out, and that's just fantastic. So your deck, you don't have to rely having the SCR or Perfect Force Cell under him. You can just pitch them, or also other Union Absorb targets also can go under, like the 4-drop cell and the 8-drop, because you can play them in the drop area with your Union Absorb. So yeah, all right, enough talking to the leader. Let's go to the main engine of the deck. So let's start with the Android package. We play 4 of the 17. We play 3 of this one, and then 1 of her, and then we play 4 of the Android 17-18, Absorption Imminent. So the reason why I'm playing only 3 of her and then 1, because really she's just a cantrip, doesn't really matter. Obviously active main, what she does is they both do is have an auto. He is a searcher, adds look at top 5 and add any android, doesn't matter what color or doesn't matter cost, just any android, and then add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. And then she's just a cantrip, draw 1, and they both have active main. They can put this up under the leader. So generally what you do is turn 1, if you have ways to start the chain up, you can. Or if you don't have the cell, you can just play 1 of them and then put this, and then you will have 2 cards under, and the next turn you will awaken. What she does is an active main. You send her, basically if your leader's an android card, send this card to the drop area to the warp, and then choose 1 green or yellow android card. Doesn't matter cost. With an energy cost of 1 in your drop area, and you add it to your hand. So what you can just add these guys, because I just noticed testing the deck out, there's no way to grab them back. Only with retro regeneration, but you have to pitch card and then grab him and then play them back. Play them anyways in rest mode. You just play in active mode. You want active mode, obviously, but there's no really way to. Once you use them all, there's no way to grab them back. So it's just a nice way. You just tap 1, send her to the warp, and then grab any of the 1 drops. And then 4 of them, I generally never play them. So what they do is a unique critical. Autos limit 1. When 1 card is popped, you can play them. And active main, same with these ones. You put them under the leader, but he draws a card and they don't. You just push them under the leader. So yeah, so it adds you a card at least. These ones basically don't, and they're active main, but this one does. But the thing is, we just want it because they're names. So if you don't have a 17, then obviously you have an 18 with these 2. And if you don't have an 17, then obviously it's 18 and then 17. So generally they're just names. You just want it for that. Alright, so let's keep going in the deck. So we're playing 4 of this cell and 3 of Absorption of Onslaught. So they both have ways to play themselves for free. Basically, this one is cards pop with your leader skill. Then you can play them rest mode, and then this one, it has an active main. If you have a unison in play and the opponent doesn't have any battle cards in play, then you can just play him in rest mode. And the thing is, it sucks that they play themselves in rest mode, but it's fine because you just want them to be free. If you can't go off like that free, then you just obviously they're just one cost, and just play them. So they both have Union Absorb Limit 1, which is unfortunate. So basically, they can if your leader is a cell card, place 1 card from your hand or drop area under this card, play up to 1 multicolor cell with energy cost 4 from your deck, or drop area on top of this card and shuffle your deck. So yeah, so you can just grab the 4 drop, which is pretty good. And the thing is, what's great about them is just you don't have to have the targets in your hand. You just grab them from the drop area. So it's with your leader, you just when you're awakened, you do the active main, put them under, pitch them to the drop area, and then these cards are live, and you don't need to sacrifice your hand size. So that's pretty good. And obviously these ones lead into these bad boys right here. So these cards are really good. I originally did not like the Ultimate deck, but after testing it out, these 2 cards have severely overperformed, have like exceeded my expectations beyond belief. So yeah, the 8 drop is basically he's just a blocker. You can evolve him on top of an 18 for free energy. So it has never come up. So it could happen, but whatever. So basically he has a permanent that you can pitch 2 cards if he's removed from a skill. Basically if you get removed from a skill for opponent's skill, you can just pitch 2 cards and doesn't. So like those red Jiren, 5 drop Jiren. And he has an active battle once per turn, not limit 1, so you can do multiple of them and still do the active battle. It's unfortunate it's once per turn, but it's just obviously game design wise. But it's just pretty awesome that it's active battle. Sometimes if you forget to trigger him, you'll have to like commit to another attack, and sometimes it has happened to me. But basically active battle, you can just pitch under him and just restand him, and that's just great. So this is just the boss, and obviously I left him for last because this card, awesome. It's just to me, it's the MVP of the deck. So what he does, he is a barrier, 4 cost 16. So he's Union Absorb, limit 1, but you have to pay an energy, which sucks. And you can evolve him for Android 17 for 1 energy, which it can happen. It hasn't come up yet, but thing is, it's just an Android 17, because you can just use him or him, since he counts as both, and you just evolve on top of him for 1 energy if you have it in hand. But there's ways to put him back if you have him in the hand, so there's really doesn't matter. Or if you draw him, if you don't have the super combos, which spoiler. You just put them under the leader, and you draw 2 cards and do active main to send him to drop area, and then play him with the 1 drops, since they can play from deck and drop area. So you generally want to play him on the through the deck or your hand if you evolve him. But you just want him play him through Union Absorb. Well, he has an auto basically, and when he's played, he's a cantrip. He draws a card. And then he has Union Absorb limit 1. If your leader is cell card, that's important. Place 1 Android 18 from hand or drop area, very important. Play up to 1 multicolor cell with energy cost 8 from your deck or drop area on top of this card, and then shuffle your deck. So the deck and drop area is so relevant in this deck because you will put them under the leader. And on Awaken or Awaken, and you will pitch him from active with his active main. So they will be live always. And let's just do it right now. Show it. The super combo. So basically 4 or less life. Put a card bottom of your deck and draw 2 cards. This is so great with these two, because if you draw them, then obviously in turn 4, once you do like a Homicide clone and take a life, or they attack you, then he's live, and then you just pitch them under the deck, about the bottom of the deck, and then just play them with the 1-drops. So this super combo overperformed. It's really good in this deck. So yes, so this is the main engine of the deck. I really enjoyed the ratios. I enjoyed it. The only thing I would do is the one you play with the unison play, and the opponent doesn't have a battle card. I only play 3, but I would bump it up to 4. That was my mistake. I got inspired by, I think it was Broken TCG's profile, and I liked it a lot, so I use his as a basis of mine. And so yeah, but I would bump it up to 4, because there's no way to grab them back. You want to have as many as possible, so because there's no really way to recur them or grab them back. So yeah, give me a second. Sorry for that. So let's just do the generic stuff. So let's do that first. So yeah, the unison we're playing is Vegito. I don't like the Frieza one. I don't care about the Bardock. Doesn't really do much for the deck, in my opinion. But Vegito does so much for you, because once you unit sword, a unit sword for the 4 cost, you draw with him, and then you draw with his auto. I think everyone knows what he does. He has an auto once per turn. You activate Union skill, so Union Sword, you draw a card. And then he has a +2, gives everything revenge, and then the -7 is just amazing. Basically, the -7, if your leader is a mono green, look at your opponent's life, place 1 card among them in your drop area. Then your opponent shuffles their life, chooses 3 cards in their hand, discards them. This with the SCR, I did it, and it was fantastic. And obviously, charismatic villain, just why wouldn't you run it at 4? And then a Hamazana clone. Ratios were, I don't know if I would bump it up to 3 or 4, but yeah. And then we play 4 Dormants. Best card of the deck, hands down. To be honest, just 4-drop Cell, and this is just the best card in the deck. It just does so much for you, and especially when you establish the 8-drop, and then you can just do play this for free when you have your unison, and then you just block with your 8-drop Cell. And then we play 2 of the Android 20 Vial Creator. What makes this card so awesome and worth playing over Champa, obviously it fits the theme of androids, green, and he's just energy if you really don't care. Well, so that's why I bumped it up to 2. We were testing with 1, but 2 was just the perfect number, because you can just, if you don't have any cards, so if you're stuck with generic cards and you don't have any androids, obviously he's an android, you just put him under him. Since his effect, his auto's mandatory. And then this package, I was inspired by Attack Productions profile, so I wanted to test it out. So, and then let's just do the SCR also. So this package is pretty good. Super 17 is basically let me see here. It's basically a successor, green or yellow, doesn't matter. It's pretty nice, the winner art. So it's successor, green or yellow, but you just do it for green always. He has a unit sword, limit 1, green or yellow. If your leader is an android card and if you have 4 more energy, you may place up to 1 cell from your deck or drop area under this card. If you do, Choose up to one Super 17 Self-Absorb or Super 17 Hellstorm Unleashed in your deck or hand. Play it with its keyword skills negated for the turn. Then shuffle your deck if you loop for it. And these are targets. So I like the ratio they showed. It's just perfect. You don't want to draw too many because reality is you do play a lot of cards that are not combo power and a lot of cards that don't do anything if you're in a tight position. If you're not in a situation where it's not favorable for you. So you don't want to run too many 1Ks and you don't want to charge them because that puts you way behind. So you really don't want to be multicolor, charge those multicolor cards. So you just want to generally just have a few of them. If you draw him, obviously successor free. You can do with the Android a 17 and 18 absorption imminent. So yeah, and then these two. Everyone does know what he does. Maybe I'll talk about him. Generally, he hasn't seen much play. So he's a critical and dual attack deflect. And he has Sparking 10. And when this card attacks, if your leader card is a green Android card, your opponent chooses 2 cards from the hand and plays it in the drop area. So yeah, he's good. And keyword, and the thing is, he negates keyword skills. So yeah, he loses the deflect and the critical and dual attack, but it negates the Sparking 10. So when he comes in, you will attack and your opponent will pitch. You don't have to care about the Sparking 10. And he's just here really because he's really good and crits your opponent's life down to 4 when he's played. And then the auto when this card attacks, draw 1 card and choose up to 2 of your opponent's cards and switch into rest mode. It doesn't say leader, doesn't say anything. It says cards. So Unison's leader energy, so that's pretty good. And obviously the SCR choice is Xenocell, fantastic card. Generally you just want to put him under, so we're going to talk about that right now. Let's just separate this. Slide there. Let's fix that here. So, yeah, sorry for that. I'm just gonna put him here because the thing is, this package right here, and this is the spicy tech that everyone's talking about, thanks to Danny showing in his profile in Cross Worlds. This card is really fantastic, to be honest. It hasn't come up yet like the same way, but it's just so good, and it's just so free. You just switch anything to rest mode. Just don't care about that. If you have your 4-drop, you play him. And the thing is, he just switches anything. He's a 15k, and then he can come up like if you have the 8-drop Cell and him, then that's 12 for the SCR. But I try to play to put him the SCR under the leader, because if you play a hand control or something that rips cards from hands, the black deck, it rips cards from your hands, your warp or something like that, or a hand control deck, you don't want to lose him. You rather just put him under and he's at least safe there, and what you do is just never pitch him. That's what I usually would play style. And if he comes up, you keep him, then obviously. And then the same thing, if he's the only he's Android and he's the only card in your hand, you have to put him under, since this effect is mandatory to put card under to draw. And then Retro Regeneration, just great card. Used him for counterattack a couple times, pretty good. Worked super well, and it comes up the playing 5 and playing him or him. The fact that you can play him under the leader is just insane. And obviously we won't talk about this bad boy because this guy has history in the game. It's a very, very good card. Has not come up actually. It's very surprising. But the option is there. You can go to him. Will you? Yeah. Can you? Yes. But it hasn't come up yet in testing. But the fact that you can do it, it's just worth playing. And I feel like 2 is the perfect number. You don't want to. Because the reality is, I think I'm playing a 52 cards, if I'm not mistaken, or 55. I don't remember right now how much I'm running. I think it's 55 on that number. And it's fine. You can go 60 in this deck. I rather play 55 or 50 flat. But the thing is, some cards you have to play them extra, and you just want those extra cards just to help you in just push games. And you can really realistically like cut the Super 17 engine. You really can cut these, but it's just worth testing. I just like the attack production idea of theirs to test this out, and it's pretty good. It's not bad at all. Obviously, and the thing is, they're also androids, so you can put them under the leader. So you have cards. You have, like, if you don't want to use your main engine pieces, you just use this, and that's it. You don't have to worry about losing cards that you want in the later turns because you have to put a card under him. And generally, you want to attack, so obviously to kill your opponent, but you just want to draw to cycle, see your deck, see your key pieces, see dormant, see of your pieces. Yeah, it's unfortunate it does come a lot that the 4-drop and the 8-drop do come up in the hand when you draw, because you just cycle so much in this deck. But that's just part of it. That's the game. That was how it was designed, and it's kind of fair, really, that they just draw it. And the thing is, if you do put them under, you pitch them, you can't play them from the drop area. The only bad side about that is you can't. The auto says that this card is played from the deck or hand. That's the 4-drop. So it won't draw if you play him from the drop area, which sucks. But that plus is just there. It doesn't really make the card broken. It's just because it has barrier. The reason that card is great is the barrier, and it's just a 16k, which your opponent has to commit to spend a 5k card to out combo a 16k. So yeah. So that's the deck profile. I really like this deck a lot. It is very good, very consistent what it wants to do. You will hand rip them. It has come up that him and I was looking for the unison. Here you go. Yeah, there you go. So these two will come up, or him, or these two. But the majority of the games I play, these two the wombo combo of doing the 7 and then play him. It just has come up, and it's just fantastic when you do that. And you're so ahead of the game after that. You just have to be wary of aggro. That's one of the biggest weaknesses of this deck. It's just playing against aggro deck that can just grind you down, and just dwindle your hand size and control the game at their pace. But that's the beauty of this deck. You can also be a little bit more equally aggro, not as aggro as like an AOD or U7, but you can put pressure with this deck and then control the pace of the game to your benefit, and that's what you want to do most of this deck. And it's just really good. It's just worth testing out. If you don't want to play this, you don't really have to. It's just something I liked, and I'm gonna keep testing and see if it's worth playing or not. But you really could cut it and just and then go, and I think it's 55, so you can cut the extra card or any card you see you didn't like a dormant. You can go free, really. You don't really have to go play 4. So yeah, that's the deck profile. Hope everybody likes it. Sorry it's kind of janky profile. Just still learning how to do everything. My first one on YouTube, so I hope everyone likes the presentation. We're going to do more profiles. We're going to be active in this channel going forward. My brother is going to participate, like I mentioned before, on the Stage 0 event on Sunday. I'm not going to mention, just in case someone sees the video, what he's playing, but it will be interesting. We've been heavily testing for the deck though. know what he's gonna play. It's a really good deck, and hopefully enjoys that profile. Will come up soon, right after the top 16. If he tops or not, we will do the profile and just talk about the deck and how it performed and how it went for him in the tournament, and talk about his experience in the Stage 0 events, because he consistently participates in those tournaments. So we're really excited for that. So watch out for that, and have a great day, and see you on the next profile on Spars Gaming.